Hi, welcome back to our learning of Mishnah Shabbat. We're in chapter 7, Mishnah 2. And this is really where we're getting to the heart of it, the core of it all. We're dealing with the primary labors, the 39 malachot, and then this Mishnah gives a list of them, and then we jump into learning about those malachot. So there's 39 primary categories of labor that are forbidden on Shabbat, and each one has other derivatives, toldot, the ones that subcategories of that, but these are the 39 primary, and they all have to do with the construction of the Mishkan in the Torah. So they're all related to either the construction itself or the processes that were necessary for running and the implements of the Mishkan. Many of them have to do with baking of bread. There's some that have to do with making of a Torah or making of cloth and garments. And these are from them come many other things, of course. Okay, so jumping right in. Avot melachot arba'im chaser achat. So the avot, av malacha is the primary category, and we said the subcategories is called a tolda, each subcategory. So the avot malachot, the primary labors, are 40 minus 1, so they're 39. And that language is just language that's used elsewhere. So it's used here in this way. Instead of just saying 39, it says 40 minus 1. And here they are. Hazorea v'hachoresh, sowing and plowing. V'hakotzer v'hama'amer, v'hadash, v'hazore, v'haborer. Reaping, gathering together, threshing, winnowing, sorting. Hatochen v'hamaraked, v'halash v'haofe, grinding, sifting, kneading, and baking. Hagozes et hatsemer, hamalabano, v'hamanapso, v'hatzov-o, v'hatove, shearing wool, whitening it, meaning like laundering it. Also things that are laundering, whitening the wool in this case, but also things, derivatives of that, or anything about laundering. Combing it, dyeing it, spinning. V'hamesech, v'haose shte vate nirin, v'haoreg shnei chutin, v'hapotseya shnei chutin. Mounting the warp, setting two heddles, weaving 2 threads. So these are all processes of setting up the loom and setting up something to then weave, and then doing the actual weaving. So there's a couple of malachot that are all parts of that process. Removing 2 threads, hakosher v'amatir, tying a knot or untying a knot. Hatofer shtei tfirot, hakorea al menat litpor shtei tfirot. So sewing 2 stitches and tearing in order to sew 2 stitches. So this is interesting. So first of all, the action of sewing has to be given a shear. It has to be given an amount that constitutes the biblical violation. So it has to be at least 2 stitches. And tearing is was done in the Mishkan when there was like maybe a hole in something because of moths or whatever got to it. They would tear a little bit to make an easier job then sewing it back together, so that's in an even, nice way. So in order to be the biblical violation, tearing needs to be done in order to sew. We learned that here. Hatzad tzvi, trapping a deer, so trapping animals in general. Hashochato, so slaughtering an animal. V'hamafshito, skinning it. Hamalolcho, salting it. V'hamabed et oro, and tanning its skin, its hide. V'hamochako, v'hamachtako, hakotev shtei otiyot, smoothing it, cutting it, writing 2 letters. So these have to do with a Torah, and we derive that from them general principles. V'hamochek al menat lichtov shtei otiyot, and erasing in order to write 2 letters. So again, writing has a shear, has an amount of 2 letters. And erasing has to be for the purpose of then writing in order to be the biblical violation. Habone v'hasoter hamechabe v'hamavir. So building and demolishing, extinguishing and kindling. Hamake v'fatish, striking the final blow. So finishing some kind of object, putting the finishing touch, completing something so that it's a useful vessel. And hamotze mirshut l'rshut, and transferring objects from one domain to another. So within the public domain or from private to public, public to private, transferring objects. And then it says, Hare elu avot melachot arba'im chaser achat. So it just reiterates what we opened with. These are the primary labors that are forbidden on Shabbat, and their number is 40 minus 1, 39. And next week we'll jump into the next Mishnah, which we'll go into the discussion, more detail of these. And what's often the case in the Mishnah, when it gives a long list of something, often the next thing that follows discusses the final one. So the following Mishnah that we'll look at begin next week will have to do with that transferring, hotza, of objects between different domains. Okay, great. Looking forward to learning together next week. Everyone have a great week, and be well. Bye.